Morning, MP caretaker.
Yes, morning, Dojan and company.
Yes, man.
Yeah,
Good morning.
yeah, man, I'm up here bright and early, scrolling through and came up on your thing, you know. Mm. Yeah, man, but it's a good one, and you're giving the listeners, you know. We Jamaica people not to farm fool of ourselves anymore.
Most definitely.
You know, we need to understand that the People's National Party has never done anything great for Jamaica. Never. What
Not
they have,
even one thing.
what they have brought is tokenism, and but what they're good at
Propaganda.
yeah, selling a good game. You know, they come and they talk. They're good at sweet talk, and, and they're good at showing trinkets. You know, showing trinkets and giving people the impression that they can get some of those pretty things too. But they have never been able to deliver. Never, never. They have been there from 1955. They found the government for the first time, and God bless the little they have done for the country. And right now, what has their greatest goal, their greatest objective, is to take the state resources and share it up amongst them people.
Most definitely.
That is what they have done. That is what they will do.
And
They have
Mahathir have said this when he said he's going to distribute money from the NIR. That is going to make Jamaica a failed state again.
right, right. You know those things. I mean, in 1962, 1972, Eddie Siaga's finance minister left $157 million in reserve. 157 million in reserve. That's like about 2 billion or more dollars now,
Yes.
right? And of course, in those days, you use less money then. Well, the money, everything
Because the
was
money was
cheaper.
more stable, yeah.
So if you were going to give him 2 billion, then it's a big start you got.
Yeah,
And
man.
what happened within 1 year of assuming power? 1 year of assuming power, Michael was at the IMF door getting money. Within 1 year, they gave the power March 1972, and by June 1973, Jamaica got its first IMF loan that it used. Right, 26.5 million drawing rights. The whole heap of money, 26.5 million. When you remember that year I used 9.5 million US dollar. 9.5 million US dollar and build out the school system in Jamaica. 9.5.
Yeah, man. That was a
And
lot of billions in use,
and,
not
and,
in.
and when and the special drawing rights is almost that little stronger than the US dollar. Special drawing rights. Right? And he got 26.5 million special drawing rights in 73. And he used half of it. He used about 14 million of that. And what did they do with it? What did they don't have anything to show. And the reason why they had to go to the IMF is that as Michael came in, him start distributing the little money that was there. And they started the macro program, right? The special employment, that we all call a crash program,
Yes.
right? And it's use that and start distribute the money. Because these people really think money spring up like how grass grow, you know.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
And it came in, man, and with special relief employment program, right? With intention to benefit 22,000 people, right? And
Yes.
every week they were drawing checks, 77,000 checks were being drawn. Every week, 77,000 checks were being drawn.
And
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 it,
and and, and Mr. Dorlan, if them give everybody $2,000, see? And them na people now work to replace their money. How we gonna fix road, hospital, school?
Yeah,
How we
that's
gonna
it.
do that?
That's the point. They think money grow like grass, and don't understand that even grass you have to plant it and cultivate it. You understand? They don't. They come in and see the money, and all they do is distribute it. They had no plan as to how to keep the money growing. They had no plan as to how to replenish it, right? And because of that, pretty soon they ran out of money. And they thought they could go to IMF to provide the source of funding. But the IMF had some strict conditionalities that they had to adhere to. You know? One
So,
of the things,
I want to
yeah?
give the people them a warning for me again this morning. I want to just warn the people them that is getting up this morning, getting early. A lot of them are listening now. Some of them, a lot of them, I can see that 100 person are watching from the far you page. You know? So I want to give them the 100 person there, a PNP them. Them I watch from the outside. So I want to tell them this morning why they should not attend this conference this morning.
No, well, if they want to attend, them attend, but they shouldn't go there to get caught up in the nonsense that will certainly be spewed from the platform there. They're not too. They're talking about time coming, about PNP time now and all of that. PNP time now to do what? To do what? What has the PNP ever done? Right? We're not to go back down those roads. They come in and they got a good economy. The economy, when they got it in 72, their economy was growing. The country had reserve. The people of the country of Jamaica never heard the term foreign exchange because when something bother you, you don't hear it, you don't know it. Foreign exchange was not part of our lexicon, right? And
Yes.
and the people, if I am to give them a message, don't believe that the handout that they will promise you and give you can be continuous. You're not going to get a continuous flow. It will just come for a couple of months, and then the water source it's gonna dry up,
Most
and we're gonna
definitely.
be left like we were left in the 70s, right? We had a thriving economy growing leaps and bounds, people getting work, right? And when Manley came with his relief employment, it wasn't necessary. It's not like Jamaica was suffering this huge unemployment rate, right? It was necessary. It was just a plan to reward is faithful, and
Yes.
it was just a plan to satisfy the greedy. Because a lot of these guys they were doing things. It's not like they were there on the street side begging, right? And they set out trying to provide a relief for 22,000 people. And every week is 77,000 checks were drawn. Because I had greedy people like Boy, he might forget about 30.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
a question, Mr. Dorlan. What was corruption like in Jamaica before 1972?
Sim- Well, you really want me to tell you.
Yeah, man.
Corruption was nothing to write home about, right? One man ran into problem, but when his wife took money from somebody to get them farm work yard, right?
Yes, yes.
And that was the thing, and that person was charged in September, and by January them convict him and him gone to prison, right?
Yes.
Um, the, in those days there was not the kind of restriction that exists now, the kind of checks and balance that is in place now. They were not there, but those people operate on those people operate on an honor system, right? And the only thing what people would probably consider corruption, which I don't consider that corruption, is that if I have a job to do, I go and give the job to somebody I know. I might give a job to one of my supporters, right? But it doesn't mean that the Jamaica people would not get value for the money. As a matter of fact, I remember the boy growing up, the roads were better built than they are now.
Yes.
I remember people used to break stone and use the bigger stone to as the foundation for the road compared to the mall that they using now. And so people used to be paid to go cut quarry the stone, mine the stone, and they use that build the roads and things like that. And Jamaica people was getting value for their money. You understand? The so to, you ask what is corruption. To me, the only thing is that maybe the way public works was allocated, it was more of who friend business. But
Yeah.
but even so, it does mean that because a friend get the work, him get one 10,000 contract. It don't mean that him going to eat a 5,000 and not do the work. And you are just do slipshod work. They had to do the work. There was value for the money, right? And it was maybe just a procurement process that it was not like open bidding and them where it's a minister, it's a man who know a man engage that contractor. But as I say, it does mean that him go out there and say, if you are to build a school and you need to build 10 classrooms, you build 5 and charge the same money. Not like that went on. Because even in the missing school thing, and even with the DaCosta Commission report, the biggest thing that you could say corrupt was when the Giata Bird, who was the guy who run the program, who know when contractors were paid, send a man go beg the contractor money. That was that was the worst. They know money run. They said send a lunch money come, and that
Yeah.
was it. That was it. The Jamaica people were not affected, and I keep saying it, and I will continue to say it because even though they tried to make that project, the school building project, look corrupt, just
Yes.
look at what was achieved with 9.5 million US dollar. Look at the
Exactly.
amount of schools that were built and the quality of the schools that were built.
All of those schools are still standing today, right?
Of course, they are the backbone of the school infrastructure in Jamaica.
Exactly.
Every single one of them. Look at all the people. The high school is because before that, the few little high schools that are run by the church,
Yes.
right? Queens Girls School is church run it. Or then the high school is church run that, right? So all of the high schools, them, most of them, you didn't have like public high school like the Campion and all those schools. That was run by government. You had the KC was there, KC Georges was there, but Georges is a church school too. It's the
Yeah.
Catholic run Georges, right? Woolmers run from from the Woolmers Trust,
So
right?
Mr. Dorlan, I know you lived during this time, so I want to tell me about corruption during 1972 up to 80.
Well, when the PNP came to power, everything changed. Everything changed. They came there with a mission to plunder the resources of the state, right? You see the Kingston to Spanish Town Highway.
Yes.
The way Shera envisioned that should have been a 6-lane highway from that time.
Yeah.
Because the labor rights are our visionaries, the think ahead, right? And if you notice that there are segments of the Kingston, the Spanish Town Highway, that had 6-lane like in the corporate area. There are
Yes.
6-lane highway with turning lanes and merging lanes. right?
Yes.
And when you look at all the curb wall for the Kingston to Spanish Town Highway, you see you come in like the finish of the curb wall on the public road was like a finish in a house. Just look when next time you drive and look, just look at the curb wall. Right from down on my conscience, from down the Mother White Bridge. Not Mother White, Sandy Gully Bridge.
Yeah.
And go up and just look at the curb wall. Just look at how those curb walls were built. Were built with refinement, quality, right? And you had the whole highway system was designed to be a 6-lane highway, 3 going in one direction, 3 going in the other direction. And
Yes.
Michael Manley jawbone it down and share at the cycle for a 2-lane dual carriageway, right? But I mentioned that, and I want you and the Jamaica people to understand the difference between Labour Party and the difference between PNP. The Kingston to Spanish Town Highway, the design of that highway, it was elevated above floodplain by 3 feet.
Yes.
And if you notice, in most sections, it is elevated by about 3 feet above floodplain. So Kingston to Spanish Town Highway never flood easy, right?
Yeah.
But the JP lost in 1972, and it's the PNP who had to finish the Kingston to Spanish Town Highway, right? And the first thing they did was to fire the contractor who was there. Them fire all of the British contractor, Higgs and Hill and all them people there. And them fire them because they wanted to bring in people who they could manipulate and control, right?
Yes.
And if you notice, if you look at, you see from Caymanas, a little bit above Caymanas intersection, into the pass ferry into the overpass bridge there at 6 miles. That section of the highway was not elevated 3 feet above floodplain. And that is why that section of the highway flood as the rainfall. Right at ferry there. And there's some more than anywhere else need the elevation. But it was not done because to elevate it, because they used to use sand and all them things to build up to the elevation. Like how highways are built in Canada, US, and so on. Because they use sand as the foundation. Sand is the best, it doesn't settle too much after you put it down. But in order to elevate the highway, you have to use a whole heap of truckloads of aggregate, whether it is sand, marl, or whatever.
Yes.
You'd have to bring the things that is gonna elevate that and to people what I'm talking about, rising up the highway so that the road surface and the floodplain is not at the same level. So that as like rain fall, the road is flooded. It rise up. That's how people build highway. If you go in Florida, even though Florida is billiard board, their highway don't flood readily because those highways are all elevated above the floodplain. And what corruption to Jamaica, you go check Kingston to Spanish Town Highway and look at that piece of highway from a little bit above Caymanas intersection into ferry into 6 miles. And that piece is not elevated. It's not elevated. So they save all of that money. Well, not really save it. They were able to thief that money by not having to pay trucks to bring in stuff to do the elevation on the highway. They were able to sink off that money. And it is from there you find them start just any work they do, any public work they do. They just find way to skim money without providing value for the money that is earmarked for the project.
Mr.
They
Dorlan,
find way to skim it.
hold the point there, because me have some comrade by here, so where we have regular debate. I want you to speak to who was the inventor of the Integrity Commission. Who thought it was a good idea and who decided to bring it into being?
Well, it's Thiaga. He started with the contractor general.
Okay.
He was the one who proposed that government contracts should adhere to certain principle. Because the way contracts were being done now, yeah, it was a gravy train for PNP. You see, I don't know, one of the biggest scandal in under Manley, right?
So
Because
when Mark Bolin come and say he's the main architect of the Integrity Commission, he's a liar. He's lying.
it was not him probably do the paperwork, the legal drafting, but it
Yes.
wasn't his concept. It wasn't his concept. The whole integrity thing was conceptualized by the Siaga.
Exactly.
Because we know we were the victim of victimization. We were the victim. We and the Jamaica people were the victim of unqualified people getting contract. You understand? So when Siaga came back to power in 1980, he proposed the setting up of what is called a contractor general. And that is where it started. It's the same concept of a contractor general right now has evolved into becoming the Integrity Commission.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And he thought it was necessary to have a contractor general because I don't know if you ever hear about McGregor Gully.
Yes.
And you're
We
talking about corruption. That is the textbook case of corruption or corruption work in the country. Right?
someone just messaged me, Mr. Dorlan, and asked me to ask you, right? Is there anything that can be done to remove the Integrity Commission and replace it with something else?
I'm not sure. I would have to read the bill that incorporates it. I know Integrity Commission is a what they call it, is a body for the Parliament. I don't know how deeply entrenched it is in the Constitution. If it is deeply entrenched, it has to move, to change. And so I have not perused the authority, the instruments which give the Integrity Commission authority to know how easy it is to change. But oftentimes these things are not easy to change.
So being that we have a majority, and should we win, well, when we win the third term, should we come home with a stronger majority or even the same majority, Mr. Dorlan? Can we not legislate in the upper house and the lower house to remove it and or at least amend it?
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. I really would have to read and see how deeply entrenched it is in the Constitution. I forget the term now, but it was created by the Parliament of Jamaica, and these bodies, these agencies. I mean, you probably would like eat quicker to change the National Work Agency than you can change the Contractor General. I mean, than you can change the Integrity Commission. You see? I would imagine that the Integrity Commission is more deeply entrenched in the Constitution than would say the National Work Agency. I would imagine just like the National Work Agency, the tax authority, you probably can change those easier than you can change the Integrity Commission. But I'm just surmising that. I can't speak with much authority on that because I've not read the document which give it the authority, which give it the power. But I know it's not flippant, and it won't be easy to change it. That much I can tell you. And maybe simple majority of Parliament can't change it. Simple majority probably can't change it. Maybe we would have to have a comrade vote in the Senate at least.
Yeah, but we see that it's not value for money, and it is affecting, and it is infested, and a lot of leakage is going on. So when something like that is going on, there must be something that we can do.
Yeah, it needs fixing. This much I know, right? This much I know it needs fixing, But I am not sure what the fix is. I'm not sure how easy it is to fix. And my guess is that it won't be as easy as a simple majority of the governing party fixing it. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. But it's awful. And this is why I tell you, the last time I spoke with some guys like this, I don't know if it was your platform, but I was telling them that the capture of the Integrity Commission by the PNP is the same way they will capture the CCJ.
Exactly, and this is why we must stay clear
And
from
that is why we should always, people must stand with the Labour Party. Because the Labour Party are visionary, they know what they're talking about. And if they say we're not going down that road, believe them. Follow back at them. Don't go down that road. Right? CCJ, if we allow them to be the apex court, the final court, the PNP go and find way to corrupt it. That is the nature of the PNP. That is the nature. The PNP, one of the reasons why crime is out on in this country is because the PNP corrupt the police, you know. The PNP used the police in 1993 to help have that blowout election, you know. And when you use the police in a corrupt way to ensure that your power, how you can then go around and tell them to not to be corrupt and that they must conduct themselves professionally? No, if they will corrupt the police, and that is why crime was such a tough fight, and it still is a tough fight in this country.
And Mr. Dorlan, this is why we see so much extrajudicial killings during that time to mid 2000.
Yes, they were rogue. They just do as they please. That's why all the crime management unit, all them they was going wrong or kill out labor, right? Just like in the 70s when Michael declared state of emergency, and the state of emergency murders went up to 2 years. 2 years, that in just one. Murders went up under Michael Manley state of emergency. And why do you think was the cause of that increase in murder? PNP are killing out labor rights. That's what was happening. Right? And so the corruption of the police force in Jamaica, PNP did that. PNP did that because look, 93 was a clear example. The most corrupt election in Jamaica history. That was a hold-on takeaway election. To the point where them all was planning to lock up Edith Yag and all them stuff there. Right? And they have always used the police force for political purpose. The invasion of Tivoli for 3 election cycles is no coincidence. Because they don't know. How when I'm going about Tivoli, the mother of all garrison. No, Tivoli was the bastion, the wall that them couldn't use, they couldn't penetrate. They changed West Kingston like how they changed Southwest. It's like how they changed South St. Andrew. A constituency that only Spalding won by 102 votes. And it now turned the biggest garrison in Jamaica. And Southwest St. Andrew, a constituency that DC DeVaris built, and where the last time him run and winning, I think about 4,000 votes he won by. And now Southwest St. Andrew is a big PNP garrison, probably the second strongest garrison after South St. Andrew, right? And because they couldn't come in and run in and scatter the people in West Kingston like they scatter them in South St. Andrew, scatter them in Southwest St. Andrew, they come and say Tivoli is the mother of our garrison, right? And they as they want to win an election, they run inside here, right? At one time, they had helicopter shooting from the air and people in Tivoli Garden, right? In 201. In 201, they ran in on Tivoli because Siaga was out in the wilderness, Labour Party was out in the wilderness, and Siaga was making a comeback. We had him on international stage speaking to large audiences. I remember him come to Toronto, speak to over 600 people, and everybody was in awe. People came up and said, but I know this me about this man. Because I mean, PNP good at spreading propaganda, you know. And they were in awe. And he moved from Toronto and go New York.
Mr. Dorlan, I was only 12-year-old at that time, and I remember the momentum that the Labour Party had then. I believe it's the same period of time Shiny Robinson won the NISA seat, right?
Yeah, because 201 we came and win that. That was that seat that PNP always dominate. That was a strong PNP.
That's when I became a Labour, right, at 12-year-old.
That's very good. Very good. I was born one and I have no regrets. I would never, I'm glad I would never have to change, boy, because I tell you, say, you know, changing your politics is like changing your religion. It doesn't come easy, but, you know, fortunately.
Well, I would say it was part of me because half my father's side of family at JLP, but my mother's side of family at Starch Comrade deliver this day. You know, when I remember calling Bruce Golden name in my mother's house, and my mother said, come out of your house, come out.
Yes. I experience a lot in my area there too. Where the young people they want change. The young people they want change, but the parents are hardcore, not change. Comrade. And you have to ask yourself why? Why are these people so beholden to PNP? Look at Central Kingston. The PNP won Central Kingston in the second election, 1949. And the PNP has represented Central Kingston for all these years. Because the constituency have been configured into two constituencies because PNP want to milk it for what it's worth. But they're basically comrades. Central Kingston have been comrades for 71 years. And it's only now that Delroy Wilson, Donovan Williams around here now, that you can that starts a little change.
Now 71 years.
71, I won't even count 1983. They excluded 83 to 89 period when, because the point is it was like they had converted. You know, it's not like the people had changed and really became Labour. Right? They were just there represented because the PNP chose not to contest the election. So for all practical purpose, Central Kingston has been represented by the People's National Party for 71 years, including having the Prime Minister of Jamaica being the constituency representative for 8 of those years. Right?
It's the same thing in Westmoreland with PJ Potts.
And what have they done for Central Kingston? The legacy of Central Kingston is the Gold Street Massacre. The legacy of Central Kingston is Green Bay. What else have the PNP done for Central Kingston? 71 years. If you can't make some place great after 71 years, they will never make it great. As long as they live, because the normal life expectancy of a man average 70 years. 70 years is the normal life expectancy. And you can't make a place great after 71 years.
I see the experience down at Westmoreland, Mr. Dorlan. Them down there for a very long time, especially in a municipality. And we have nothing to show for it. And we had a water minister, we had an agriculture minister, we had a prime minister who is a defense minister also. And Westmoreland have nothing to show for it.
Yes. And that is the nature of the PNP. They don't want power to build. They don't want power to develop people and places. They just want the power so that they can plunder the resources of the state. And in so doing, what they do, they know strategically who they have to share some of the plunder with. They know who they have to share it with so that they can continue to stay in power, so that they can continue to plunder. That's all they do. And because they share some of the spoil with a few comrades, these people will die for them party. But when they look at them country, where is it going? It end up like Central Kingston. Right? It end up like Westmoreland. Anywhere where PNP dominate, the people are poor. Anywhere. The people are poor and underdeveloped.
So I want to take it to a statement with Mark Golden made, because You know, when we haggle with the comrade them say him never mean this. So Mark Golden on a platform said the PNP should take it to the labor right them and get wicked on the labor right them and him want give back the done them the power. So what you understand that for me, Mr. Dorlan?
Well, you know, it do a lot of interpretation, and one of them is that it could be that they mean that they must get violent on them. You know, the PNP has always taken it to labor rights, you know. The PNP has always taken the PNP has always been wicked on labor rights. When people hear me talk, they say me a tribalist. But me not tribalist. But me not going to sit down and make man come run roughshod over me or people around me. Right? That's what they do, because that is what they know. The PNP has always used violence. The PNP has benefited from violence in the political process in Jamaica. They have always benefited. That is how they got power in the first place, because, you know, we won the first 2 elections. And we were running the country based on principle and laws, right? And the country was moving forward. And they realized that in order to get power, them can't sit down on them two hands. So they went and formed Group 69. And they got wicked.
What
right?
is Group 69? What is that? Yeah, because some of we young, you know, Mr. Dorlan.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the PNP form is an amalgamation of groups in the society, right? When O.T. Fairclough conceived PNP, because it was O.T. Fairclough who conceived PNP. O.T. Fairclough went and identified somebody to lead, and to them call a Norman Manley. Like Norman Manley never created it. It's O.T. Fairclough. And O.T. Fairclough and his people them decided that one of the best way to do was to bring all of the groups that exist in the society. The teachers, that's why teachers are so hardcore PNP. The teachers union at the time, it wasn't called JTA then, it was Jamaica Teachers Union, with people like Edith Dalton, Iris King. Those people are teachers, and they were very political and activists. All right, so they brought the teachers union, the farmers union. There was another social agitator, National Reform Association NRA, which was a communist outfit comprised of UART, the Hill brothers, Frank Hill and Ken Hill, and another brother. But they were communists. They never. So these are the groups that O.T. Fairclough brought together, right? And because of that, the PNP had a group structure. You hear them talk about group, all right, group this, and then in the 1950s they created Group 69, and Group 69 was headquartered at 69 Matthews Lane, and that was run by Willie So Isaacs. He was the street general at the day, right? And that group was hell bent on dispensing violence in the country, right? And they were brought into action in a by-election in Garden Town. I think it was 1953 or thereabouts was the by-election.
Okay, so this is going a long time before Brigadier days then, man.
Yeah man. Then the succumb the first victim of political murder in Jamaica, right? A brother named Taylor. What Taylor it was again? Name will come back to me. He was the area leader for Garden Town, for the JLP. And when Group 69 rolled out in that, it was a parish council by election. And you had Alan Isaac running against a guy named McDonald for the JLP. And there was a lot of tension up there. There was a lot of tension. And Alan Isaac, Willis O. Isaac's son, was the candidate up there. And Isaac unleashed the Group 69 on the people up there. Right? And they ran in up there and beat people left, right, and center. And well, the first guy I get told. Anyway, he was Taylor. The guy was Taylor. I remember I asked him, and then beat him to death. I don't know if anybody was convicted for that. A long time later, right, I suffer at the hands of PNP now, and I get with murder in the country. Long time, right? And so that was the first case of Group 69. And what Group 69 did was to Buster was in West Kingston. Buster got won by about 8,000 vote margin, I think, in his first election. And by the second election, Buster had to pick up and run. Go South Clarendon. He go South Clarendon because of the violence that Group 69 brought to bear in West Kingston. And when Shearer was sent there to replace Buster, them burn up Shearer car. So when my thing that about get wicked upon them, PNP have always been wicked on labor rights. Have always been. Right? So they burn up Shearer car when they go around there to replace the Buster Manty. And first and foremost, Buster had to run from around there and go South Clarendon. You understand? It's the same way the JLP had the headquarters at Retirement Road. And JLP had to move their headquarters further up because of the violence of PNP leg unleashed on the labor right them. There is never a case in Jamaica history where PNP had to move a office because labor right attack it. Never. Right? So when he was talking about getting wicked, it could have meant it, you know, it could have been a figure of speech, but then it could be literal because we know they have always been wicked on the JLP, so we can't take it either way we want.
Well, we see how they might take it because we have a few comrades here right now. You know, Hugh, Richard, Howard. We have got Thomas Thompson. Sorry, we have a few others, and they are hell bent on spreading lie and misinformation on a daily basis. And if that don't spell wickedness, I don't know what does. Because the Jamaican people have suffered 19 consecutive years under the People's National Party.
Yeah.
We have suffered
Earlier on in the conversation, I about corruption in Jamaica, right? And the argument that move away from before I made a point I wanted to make. I want to come back to it.
Yes, go ahead.
You see the gully system in Jamaica, the sandy gully system. These were built. The gully system in Jamaica was built by Buster and the JLP. Because like I said, the Labour Party know how to build country. They know how to develop people and places. And they know that Kingston and St. Anne used to like all heap of flooding happening now. Kingston and St. Anne used to flooding out. As soon as the rain fall, you know, the entire Kingston and St. Andrew was a floodplain. And it was being flooded. And Buster and his team quite rightly realized that there's no development can go on until we contain the flooding. And when you look at Sandy Gully River and you look at all the gully system throughout the corporate area, you look at the cut stone system, right? The Chartwood Gully and all them gullies there. The gullies are like architectural accomplishment. Designed, properly built. And that is how Buster did it. And that is why when I think when we went round New Haven, because we have a gully system around there that is giving the people them hell round there. And I believe we need one of those gully construction. The little bitch up that PNP come with where they use black and steel to build gully. it's nonsense. And we need to get a good gully system around New Haven there. So that when the flood rain fall, the people are not flooded out almost immediately.
So when the bell ring, Mr. Dorlan, and you will be returned as the next MP for your constituency, you can make that one you mean.
I'm gonna be fighting for it, you know.
Yes.
But let me point out, because I want the Jamaica people understand what corruption does, right? And I point to those gully systems, show the quality of the gullies that were built, and the way gullies we should have continued to build gully in this country. Now, in 1972, Michael Manley came to power, and the only gully they built was the McGregor Gully. The McGregor Gully. And the McGregor Gully was like a feeding tree for comrades. They were spending like $1 million US per week around there. Under Manley.
What you say a while ago, Mr. Dorlan? That can't be true. In
They were
1972?
spending like $1 million US a week around there.
In 1972?
I don't remember when the gully started. It was 72, but I think it was around about 74 thereabout.
Mighty God of Daniel.
Right? But no, here's how they operated. One man would carry in one load of stone, and he would have bill off for that. And you have another man who would take him truck and take up that stone that was dropped off. Take it off site. And then another man carry back the stone again. So the one load of stone, you might have 20 truck men to get paid for it. One load of stone. That was how corruption was be running under Michael Manley and the PNP. Right? And when it got out of hand, Michael Manley send Ogilvy, Ted Ogilvy round there. He was the permanent secretary, I think, in the Ministry of Work. And him tell Ted Ogilvy to go take charge of that project and stop the bleeding of money. Right? Stop the bleeding of money around there. And Ted Ogilvy went round there and shut down the project, money stop run. And all of the man them get vexed. All of the man them get vexed. That them time they have man like anyway, the same set of guy them who they send off to Cuba. The name them will come back to me here. One of the big Dan round there was one of him that are big in a PNP, you know. You understand? One of him that are big up in a PNP. As I talk, I'll get a name. And so them man, they was vex. You rub them the wrong way. You shut off them gravy train. Now come up. Them vex. And they decided to kill Ted Ogilvy. And they went in and they assassinated Ted Ogilvy because he was coming to clean up the corruption. Where a man might drop one load of stone 20 times. A corruption where you're spending out $1 million a week. And when you go around there, you can't see no work. No work was being done. Right?
So nobody never get convicted with Ted Ogilvy murder. Ted Ogilvy murder. Did anybody get convicted?
Yeah, the name I was trying to recall was Tony Brown. Because he used to run East Kingston. Tony Brown. And George Flash.
And George Flash too.
George Flash, yes. Right? And there was another guy. And they went and killed Ted Ogilvy. Right? And when we won in 1980, because the McGregor Gully thing, they went on for like 3 years, you know, because gravy, you know, master, gravy train, so them never want the train stop. And it was bleeding money. Right? And incidentally, McGregor Gully, I don't remember which of the rain. As soon as we had a little flood rain, half of the gully mash up. Half of the gully mash up. Because after all these years, it built shoddy. Right? When you build for gully system, the concrete mix has to be a certain quality. You're not the ordinary mix you're going to use to build a gully system. And that is what they did, because of course them are short and everything. And the gully system, my Gregor Gully, I don't remember which rain, it wasn't even a hurricane, but it was a serious flood. And it mash up, I don't know if you know where that 70th church is on Windward Road.
In 79, Dorlan, in 79.
Yes, it could have been that time. Right? And because the McGregor Gully now, according to them, was complete and can be used as a gully. And I tell you, so the first, every rain came and the gully mash up. And because the gully mash up, the church itself, the church right at the corner, near to Mountain View Avenue and Windward Road. And that church was destroyed because the gully was not there to protect the property of the worshippers. You understand? But when Ted Ogilvy went there to shut down that corruption, they decided they have to kill him. And they did. They killed him. Right? And when Siaga came to power, they was going to prosecute them guys, and them guys, then they will Siaga hang, man. And we know so them man they was gonna be hung. And you had people getting those murderers out of Jamaica going to Cuba. And if only God can come down and tell me personally, say Michael man, not take up the phone and call Castro and say, three of my boys that come and take care of them for me. Because me no say no little underling couldn't call Castro. The little underling couldn't call Castro. Paul Burke couldn't call Castro. Castro won't take him call. You understand me? And for 3 murderers to go to Cuba, go cool out for 10 years, Castro had to know and Castro had to approve. And it's only a man of equal stature as Castro could have called Castro and asked him to take care of my boys them. You understand me? And if only God can come down, come tell me, say, no, Michael man, they take up the phone and call Castro and say, me have 3 murderers that come up. Look, take care of them for me. And the 3 guys was in Cuba 10 years when the JLP was in power. Them hope there for 10 years, living the life. I think them all make family up there. Right? And then when PNP won back power, the guys came in. And when the guys came back, the Tony Brown, the Flash and all of them, man, they were when the file couldn't be found. Them file disappear. And them man, they never even have to appear before court. They never go to court. You understand? And that is how PNP run things. And although Ted Ogilvy here said Ted Ogilvy was a comrade himself. But they don't care, because if another comrade is standing there, they will kill him. And that is what they did. They murdered Ted Ogilvy. And the PNP organization helped get the murderers them up to Cuba.
That's not new, because we see even recent shooting going in a clearing that was a PNP stronghold. That is PNP killing PNP. You know? So a lot of murders that have been in a garrison, a PNP kill PNP.
Yeah. Yeah, but them man, they went to Cuba for 10 years up there. And then they came back to Jamaica. There was a big celebration on their arrival. And their files were all destroyed. And they let him go court one day. They never even forget a lawyer. Because the case was squashed. They never have nothing to do. After they murdered Ted Ogilvy.
But Dorlan,
You understand?
Dorlan, that same McGregor Gully there, remember, said those 2 men also got contracts from the former mayor, who is now an MP for Southwest St. Andrew. And the sitting MP there now. The same McGregor Gully, them want to get contract for clean it and extend it and all them something there.
eat food same way, man. They
But
were not trapped.
there's photograph evidence with these two men, East Kingston Dan, with the former mayor Angela Brownberg and Philip Palwell.
Well, I'm not aware. I'm not
No,
aware of that. But,
me have the picture, man. It's a public knowledge, man. The picture of them, man.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
don't give me food,
but that is. You asked me about corruption. That is how PNP do corruption. You understand? That is how they do corruption. They were supposed to finish the Kingston to Spanish Town Highway. The highway was supposed to be elevated 3 feet above floodplain. And when them take over, all elevation stop. You understand? And that was well budgeted for. I mean, when Shira left, there was no budget to overrun. Money was still there to finish the highway, right? And when they took over, the elevation from Caymanas Park, from Caymanas intersection, up to ferry into 6 Mile, that piece section of the highway should have been elevated 3 feet above front plane. It's not elevated. And that is how PNP do things, right? And that is why as soon as the Korean fall, ferry, before this new highway was put in, Bill by Andrew and the JLP, ferry was a problem to navigate it as soon as the Korean fall, right? Because the town was flooded, and the reason why it was flooded is because it was not built according to design. And the PNP will finish it up and fail to elevate it above floodplain. And we would have liked to know where that the money there. Where did that money go? And when they come talk about corruption, illicit six, that is how them do the things, right? And the country suffer as a consequence. The country suffer. Because until Andrew came in and built Kingston to Spanish Town Highway, the way it is built now, the dual carriageway from Caymanas Park into 6 Mile was always a riverbed as flood zone as soon as the Korean fall. Thanks to PNP anyway, them do their thing. You understand? So that was a kind of corruption, and that is what they are fighting for right now. Time come, them say time come for that again.
So why them couldn't just build it up properly in the beginning, Mr. Dorlan? Do you believe them siphon off the money and use other things?
I tell you, man, maybe that take about 100 truckload of aggregate to do the elevating. Maybe about 100 truckload of aggregate, you know, whether it's marl or sand or stone, right? And if you don't spend that money is there to siphon off.
But even with that, I can remember an incident in
When I hear and I get some signals, just set up a cell when I hear. Father Chaps, good morning.
Blessed, you know. Father Dorlan.
I see a man say must give the JLP history now. History of what? Of building the country?
History of performance.
Dorlan, I pay him no mind. Dorlan,
No,
I pay him no
man,
mind, Dorlan.
I'm a friend, man. Me take you, man. History of what?
man,
It must be specific, man. It's history of what?
History of us defending ourselves against the
You see,
people.
what you spoke to earlier, Dorlan, is a good morning. Good morning, my brother. I greet you well. It is always a joy to share a platform.
Morning,
with
Chapa John,
great-
morning.
Where's the Punkos? It is always a joy to
I don't mind to chop on that.
Yeah, man, him said one, man.
not the
Hey, for those of you guys who don't know, you know, chop on me a partner, you know, we pioneer the Facebook thing here, you know.
true, man.
And we were here all the while trying to bring the message and the awareness to
Consistency.
labor, right? So
Yes.
we really feel proud that people like DUJON and other people, Philippine, and there's some other little ladies. I'm so proud of them. The lady them aggressive like pitbull. I'm proud of them. That's how you have to be.
Yeah, man.
when you fight for your cause, easy. I don't dodgeball you playing.
No, no.
No,
And I tell you something.
you have to come out, man, and you have to come fight.
A
And
lot of
and
people
and
don't know
and
that,
and
Dorlan.
and and, and, and me and drop up and hear this thing, and we will leave it in good hands, man. I believe so.
Yeah, man, I am extremely proud of it, man. Let me tell you something. Dujan, you might not know. I think Punkus might have a good idea, and many others. But we started this thing from in 2015, before 2016 election. And Dorlan and I always tell you, I
Here,
attribute a
man,
lot of
Chuck
what
tell
I
me
know.
what there. You know,
Huh?
me about the Chuck tell me what there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah?
man. Yeah, man. It used to be on, man. The chopping block was where it started. So sometimes I hear a lot of people out there and them carry on and carry on. I say, you just are coming at this, you don't understand this. We were, when it was unpopular to criticize PNP, when it was dangerous to criticize PNP, Alan, Francis, and myself, we stood tall and we do it without fear, fearless in our presentation when it comes to presenting the facts. And one of the things that we have prided ourselves on over the years, no PNP, nor GLP, nor civil society, nobody can ever challenge the information that Dorlan, Francis, and myself would have presented then and now. Because we pride ourselves on factual presentation. We not spread propaganda.
And Chopper, what on the Chopper? We never hide behind no pseudonym or no
Never.
emoji. Our
Never.
face we out there live. On
Live.
Facebook I do it live. Night
Only
after
two.
night.
Yeah, man, that is true.
Yeah.
So it is always a joy, Dorlan, when I hear you on this platform or any other platform. It is a joy to share this space with you, my brethren, because you have taught me a whole lot. When we had the discussion about the PNP's activities in sending 1,600 Jamaicans, when we talk about the origin of crime in Jamaica and criminality and gun violence, you were the one. When we talk about the 1,600 Jamaican going on the Brigadista program, you were the one who made the connection. So we're not going to stop at just talking about it. We're going to bring facts to bear. And you connected us with the author of the book, Road Not Taken.
Yes.
Gentleman resides in Canada. We brought him on the program. We had thousands of views, 15, 20,000 views when we exited the program. And he was able to shed light on what happened firsthand on the Brigadista program. We purchased several books and he sent us a lot of books and we gave it away to persons who have an interest. You brought that to the fold, Dorlan. And that was able to solidify the arguments that we made when we say that the PNP is responsible for gun violence in Jamaica. It was the action of the PNP that caused gun crime to escalate in Jamaica. So again, I will always say to you, my brethren, maximum respect. And so as sharp as you were back then in the 2015, 2016 election, you're still as sharp today in 2024. And if you ask me, I would say you're even sharper than you were then. You understand? So respect must be given. That's why I tell people all the time. When we on these platforms see people like Dorlan and Francis are pass through, we must hail the man. We must open the door for the man, spread the red carpet for the man, because the foundation on which we are building now, people like DUJON and others are building on now. Trust and believe me, guys. It was paved by people like Dorlan H. Francis, and I will say that without any fear of contradiction anywhere we go.
We have maximum of respect, man.
Yeah, man.
We love well that them, we love the knowledge of well that the empire.
Yeah, man.
Them, because that's so we will continue to teach history to the younger youth, them younger than ourselves. So we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Definitely, man. So Dorlan, take a bow, brethren. Always. And we always echo that because you did it. and you continue to do it. When you talk about this violence thing, the Dorlan, you need to mention the fact that these men are, this party is consistent and is fearless when it comes to unaliving people because they don't care on the drawn a line. And they don't have a problem with unaliving people within their own circles. Look at Maxine. Look at what her name from Portia Simpson Miller's
Maxine Simpson.
constituency.
Maxine Simpson.
Yeah. Look at Maxine Simpson. They took her out. Until today, we have not heard a word. Look at the fellow who is in jail now. Former MP, Dorlan Silvera. These men, this party is known for that sort of lifestyle. You talk about the whole Ted Ogilvy thing there, Dorlan, I tell you, say, bring back some serious questions, you know. The level of violence that was portrayed against labor rights. And people sometimes come here and I could tell you about time come for go back to that. We're not going back there. We're not going back there. Jamaica move. But tell people, Mr. Francis, that in 1980, when the JLP took office, we had 864 murders. That's what we had, you know. And by 1989, Eddie Siaga was able to cut it down to 434. Right? 434. We handed over our country to PNP in 1989. By 2007, we moved from 434 to 1,588. So PNP have no moral authority to come here and speak to anybody about murder or speak to anybody about crime in this country. They are responsible for moving a murder rate from 434 to 1,588.
And then
They must go answer to the Jamaican people what they did.
And
They
then
did that.
And then morning Chaps, morning Dujan, morning Dorlan, morning Son of Punkos. How now do man? So, you me I say man. You see, sorry for everybody in Panama, but Bridget, trust me. You see when the PNP them now cause crime to get out of hand at this magnitude. And when Jamaica Labour Party take over now, they are expecting that the Jamaica Party must curtail crime within a few weeks. And if they can't curtail the crime within a few weeks, then the whole blame now is pointed to the Jamaica Labour Party as if they are the cause of this crime situation monster in Jamaica. The PNP from top to bottom are very emotional people. Them take things personal, and if you notice on social media all the way through, every one of their speech has to attach with something personal. Yeah, it has to be personal, and this is such a sad thing in Jamaica. It is very sad. You don't hear them talk about anything in relation to development and how you're going to move the country forward. Instead of doing that, they attack you. Them talk about chops, and chops is this, and chop a thief, and chop a whatever. Them know what they not talk about. The party as a party that should govern the people and be responsible for the country in respectful ways. You understand what I mean? Go answer. Go ahead,
But Chopper and Dorlan, Mr. Somebody just ask a question, say, under which administration have the highest murder rate? You see, that's an unfair and clouded question.
I wanted to respond to that person. But I was making Chopper make him talk and daddy, whatever his name is, you know. But the point, those are irrelevant statistics. But because what matter in life, you know, whether it's economic, whether it's human development, is trend. It's the trend in which things go, right? And there is no doubt that under JLP, crime trends down. Murder trends down. And the point is, yes, it's under Bruce. The murder was the highest. But it was PNP momentum murder rate that took it there. It's PNP momentum. It's because Bruce was given a crime situation that was spiraling out of control. And it was all because of PNP murder rate, momentum, PNP momentum. right? Sometimes because sometimes you look when you look at statistics, when you look at all in 1990, you look at 1991, the economy grew. You know why it grew? Hedy Siaga and the JLP economic momentum. That is why PNP could have shown growth in 1991 and probably a little bit in 1992. I don't remember those 2 years. But those are the only time them show growth. Every other time it was zero or negative. You understand?
Dorlan,
So
Dorlan,
don't
hold
compare
on. This
themselves.
is
Oh, all
Andrew.
the PNP, them had that kind of growth. No, it's JLP momentum growth. And the
But did
murder rate, who is the highest murder? Is that irrelevant?
Say
It's the trend.
Dorlan,
I
didn't,
talk
didn't
about that all
Andrew
the time, Dorlan.
beg Peter Bunting, beg him in Parliament, let us continue with the state of emergency. Let us push against it.
Of
And
course.
Peter Bunting rejected it.
Of course, because them know
So what they're talking about?
the guy that were able to bring to tame Tivoli, because according to them Tivoli are the garrison, and Tivoli was subdued, right? And then now them know we're gonna turn to garrison gang. No, the garrison, the Klansman gang. Now the Klansman gang, you know, man, are the most depraved gang you have in the world, you know. Those are the guys who introduced beheading in Jamaica, you know. And they were beheading them one gang people where them fall out with, you know.
With Hodges,
Because
remember
a lot-
Hodges?
Yeah, man, a lot of the people where them kill, man. And them one. But them was so brutal and nasty with it, right? And that was the gang that Peter Bunting caused the state of emergency not to be extended. So that they could have contained that gang before the mighty Fitzbailey was able to bring them other manners, you know. You understand? So make them go. They just play these games. And this is one of the things I would like to warn people on the platform. I come and tell them about the strategy of the PNP. They have a two-track strategy. One in opposition, they allege corruption. Because they can't do not more. They allege corruption. And they go and they say this good thing. You take a meat, but oh yeah, Lord, corruption. They give you illicit this and all kind of crap. And they excite people. And total bullshit. Right? And when they are in power, they use the organ of the state to subdue people. Michael Manley used the state of emergency. And he was trying to engineer another state of emergency when he did the Green Bay thing. Right? Using the organs of the state. Because if they harm him, he was going to murder people at Green Bay. And none of God can come tell me, Sir Michael never know about that. He was Minister of Defense. And the guy came from his constituency. So if he never know, he ought to have known. So he's complicit. Or he's a failure there. Right? So he was trying to use the organs of the state to influence the election again. So even after the 76 state of emergency, where people decry and him was ashamed over it, he nevertheless was trying to come use the organ of the state to influence political outcome. And they used it, they attacked Tivoli 3 times using the police running upon Tivoli to give the impression that Tivoli Garden is the generator for all violence in Jamaica. Right? 3 times they go down there. The last time 27 people they murdered down there. Right? Using the organs of the state to try to influence the political outcome. And what I appeal to listeners on this platform this morning is that the only other strategy them have now, the only other, because their corruption allegation strategy, they're getting a whole heap of blowback from that. So their corruption allegation strategy will not hold water. And if the IC dare come out with no report, come try implicate any labor right, them going to understand how people power work in country. The IC, and they must be mindful of what they're doing. This guy Simpson is a disgrace to the IC. The guy will recommend that the Andrew should be charged. Charged over bullshit. You understand? Him is a disgrace to the IC. Him should take for himself. But if him think him was going to put a charge on the leader of the Labour Party and get away with it, him have a second guess coming. Because we know we're going to sit down and take it. We never sit down and take it 1980 and you have some old avant-garde was still there when I'm going to sit down and take it. And if them did touch Zion, the country would rise up. May I tell him that? And they better be mindful of the bullshit them doing because we're not going to sit down and allow them to play that game and implicate decent, honorable people. All right? And try to accuse the man of doing this. And if they charge him, they would rise up because me I tell you, say, it would have been full charge. And we're not going to take it.
Yeah, Mr. Dorlan,
Mm.
I'm a bit suspicious of what he did and how he was trying to pressure the charge on the Prime Minister. I am still a bit suspicious. I am still wondering whether or not it is his decision. If it is his decision, or he gets some form of, he was pressured from some other quarters. Because how can a man, run such an investigation for 6 months with an international body, see? And looking at the evidence presented that the Prime Minister has nothing to do with these accounts, right? And then now wanting to apply some pressure on him for him to be arrested. I am suspicious that some members of the PNP has something to do with it.
Look, let me tell you something, man. You don't have to wonder if there was collusion. There was collusion. Out and out collusion. And we still need to know if the 750,000 that was robbed from the other IC member, if that was payment going to be shared up amongst the members of that commission.
Yeah, that's
them need to tell us. We don't know.
Yes.
But we need to know if, and we need to put that aside and say, yeah, well, no, that is not what was taking place. But that the man who was robbed refused to talk to the police. So we don't know if the $750,000 that was robbed from him, I'm here say that monthly thing. If that was not money that was being sent to be distributed amongst people who the PNP buy out. And if there was not collusion taking me, let me tell you, you see, and I'm glad what happened with the IC has come to light. But for the past 3-4 years, I was trying to tell them that they were gonna use corruption allegation to tarnish the JLP. And the National Integrity Action was being used in that regard. The National Integrity Action was part of the colluding force to use corruption allegation to tarnish the JLP. And what burned me that my party sit down and take it. Because if it was up to me, would have looked on my man, just like how Tapia, the US ambassador looked on him, I come tell Tapia, oh, your party is going. He said, where the evidence? They show me the evidence. And shut him up and defund them from support that they used to give them. Tapia did it. Right? Defund National Integrity Action because National Integrity Action is a corrupt institution. And they were using corruption allegation for the real JLP too. And we sit down and take it that about me. We should have looked at the man and said, me know what I'm doing, brother, and we're not going to get through with it. Yeah, but we need to have the boss and look at man. Me know what you do, me know no hope to, and it not going to work. We need to talk to them like that and go and stop going like with freedom and when respect institutions.
You can't block them people there, no? You can't block them people there that Chantel
Yeah,
no block nobody, man. When they come, we are going to baptize them.
Morning once again, everybody.
You can convert and baptize them.
Yeah, make people hear what them party are going with.
But
Let
be
me tell you something, Mr.
respectful
Dorlan.
when you come over here. You don't come on here and call nobody drunk.
Wait. Let me finish a point about National Integrity Action. That hypocritical organization, right? That corrupt institution that try to use corruption allegation to derail the JLP, right? You see the integrity score that come out each year? The integrity score that come out each year, you know. Transparency International compile them data that is submitted by people within the country, you know. And it is National Integrity Action and members of the National Integrity Action who supply Transparency International with information so that them can confirm this corruption score, right? And I don't know if people remember in 2016, just before the election came out, Jamaica make a big leap up the chart, right? And shows that we are fighting corruption. We are fighting corruption. And the then executive director of National Integrity Action came out and make statement about, oh yeah, we're fighting corruption. And when we have corruption under control, we can get all kind of foreign direct investment and all kind of thing. And it was all part of the influencing strategy. Part of using corruption to influence political outcome. So when PNP is there, they go on like corruption is under control. And I remember as soon as the JLP took back office, the next year, the corruption score went up. The next year, without the party doing nothing, without the government doing nothing that you could consider corrupt, the corruption score went up. And that is because NIA was there manipulating the corruption score and putting the country in a bad light. And we need to turn the spotlight on the National Integrity Action because them don't have no integrity neither. And in the same way, they collude with them, the PNP collude with them, NIA, and they were colluding with IC, Integrity Commission. And we need to make it be known loud and clear that there's this collusion taking place and it nah go work.
Dorlan, I have a question for you, Dorlan. The former head of NIA, Trevor Monroe, what was he known for in the 80s, the 70s and 80s?
Trevor Monroe is a communist. And he led the Workers' Party of Jamaica, right? He's a communist, right? And people are asking questions as to his role with the murder of Maurice Bishop in Grenada. And although we can't get no answer, people want to know what role he played in the execution of Maurice Bishop in their effort to promote Bernard Cord to run that beautiful Caribbean island, right? With their ill-founded Marxist-Leninist, dumb, stupid, barren ideology, right? So we want him to come and explain himself. Was he involved? Was he part of the planning to execute Maurice Bishop? And that he must come tell me about him, about his the head of integrity in Jamaica, right? So he was the leader of the Workers' Party of Jamaica, and he ran on the PNP ticket.
Was Lambert Brown was a part of that party too?
Lambert Brown was a communist too.
Yeah, and he was arrested.
He was part of the Workers' Party.
With the bomb them, with the cocktail bomb them.
Yes, I think it was. Yeah, there was some story to that effect that he was held with Molotov cocktail in his car. Yeah, but so these guys, these communists, come go on, they are paragons of virtue. And we born me no man. When we live right so long and listen to these bullshit and accept it. We rise up and tell them to take those arguments and shove it up their ass. Go away with that. We're not corrupt communists, right? I don't know plain people.
Well, Mr. Dorlan, I share the same sentiment as you, I labor right now, I try to get them to calm down, you know, because them I say, but me not ramp with them either.
That's the thing, the thing we need to drive home our points. You see, as soon as the tide turn and the sea kind of calm, we feel that we won't dry. No, we need to destroy these people because they are corrupt.
I want to ask you guys a question before because I soon have to leave, soon have to go get ready to go to work. As I always say, I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I went to work yesterday because I'm a person that sometimes just jump up and put on my green shirt, and no matter who I need to wear it to work. My boss will not too much. They're not too much in Jamaica politics, so they won't penalize you to wear something has that effect to work. And so while I was there yesterday, a Jamaican came to me and said, "Andrea, what is going on in your corner in Jamaica in your party?" I said, "What happened now?" She said, I see on Twitter where investigators are swooped down on politician, a JLP high-ranking politician home, seizing computer and all of that. I said, where you get that from? She showed me John Pollock. John Pollock. Guys, I wish some of you over Twitter and when they put out these false rumors to beat it down, because it doesn't only stay in Jamaica. When they do it, it doesn't only stay in Jamaica. It comes wide. I have some people that will read and don't understand that it's a rumor, it's a propaganda. They will
We have
grab
come up
it.
against opposition
Andrea,
and with the own labor right them.
Andrea.
Just like
supportive, you know?
our aisle thing are coming, son of punk. Just like our aisle thing, I had us to spend days in the cafeteria at work beating down this aisle thing.
Andrea, I can categorically say persons like Selena, Kizzy Wandan that is here, Bridget, and many other laborites are over Twitter, right? You have a whole group of them over Twitter that's beating down it. But if some person's algorithm are not feeding towards certain things, they won't see it, right? Now, the thing is, if somebody wishes to believe the negative and want to see the negative, there's no you can do for that, Me living in the
That's so
Netherlands.
true. That's so true. But there's a point. Let me touch a point. When the aisle thing came out from the get-go, when I read it, I knew it was a rumor. I knew it was propaganda and so. But then when Minister Vaz addressed it, I went to work and I showed somebody the Minister Vaz addressing it, and the person look up at me. I was standing up, he was sitting down at the chair, and he look up at me, and as a laborite, he look up at me and he said to me, he dropped everything out of his hand on the table and he said to me, Andrea, me did believe a truth. Me did believe said they find alpha truth, Jesus Christ. What are people them wicked? So you see, sometimes it tends to even go to the heart of some people who are laborites. And real laborites, I remember now, this man a come home, come vote next when election come. No doubt about it, he must be home. But he might not a person that read well like me and entrenched in the politics and wants to read what man. He might not be that type of person. Because been here, them a run from one work to a next work and all of that, and no time to read. I said to somebody the other day that I've been on date, I can't be so much in black me now, in black me on Twitter.
Yeah, man, do one of them people that blocked me a long time, man. But what message you say? I was on a plane for 10.5 hours, right? Traveling from Jamaica back to the Netherlands, right? And there were 3 persons on the plane that work in the international court in the Hague over here. And them said with me JLP cap, and one of them said to me, boy, your boy now going good, And they were talking that when the parliamentarians and a certain level of public sector workers got the raise, the 200% raise and up. And for 10.5 hours, me and the 3 of them, I said to them, feel the questions to me, and I will give you the clarity. I will not done.
No, Bridget.
Can clarify.
No, Bridget, that is not what I'm saying, Bridget. He wasn't saying that he not gonna vote or anything. He was just saying that he believes that what the people were saying, that oil is found in Jamaica. He did believe it.
But
so
another PNP people, Andrea, that's the problem,
go out there and people believe.
Andrea, but if you tell them, say, follow the Prime Minister page, follow the Information Minister page, follow the Daryl Vaz page, emphasize that they must stop follow PNP because the people them on the plane who me talk to, me say, who for page you no follow? You see it for the internet. You see it from an official source from the government? No. So me say, then only stupid, only can't be intelligent people and not following the official members of the administration page. Follow these people pages and you will see where the information is. All you know want to know what going on Jamaica.
We're not understanding our son of Punkus.
So,
what I understand is that these persons, they are already coming with a bias towards the People's National Party. I understand, so them I look for any little thing to say. the Labour Party now the way it's supposed
Yeah,
to
but
do.
can I ask you this
So
question
me
though,
I say,
guys? What is the negative about this oil thing other than the PNP trying to concoct a story? Because the truth is, there is oil exploration on the shores of Jamaica for the last 20, 30 years.
60 years, Chopper. 60 years.
Right? We've been searching for this commodity for years. There's nothing
Yeah.
new. Under Bruce
And
Gordon,
gold
we
too.
had a group out there. Under Portia Simpson Miller, there was a group out there. And under Andrew Holness, there's still a group out there searching for oil. Are we closer to finding oil? Is there oil reserve in the region or on Jamaica's waters? I am almost 100% certain that it is there. So, truth pressed to earth will always rise. I don't know if there is a certain amount that is detected now, that is tested and ready for drilling. I doubt that, but I am certain that there is active explorations on the shores of Jamaica, and I am positive that at some point we will find a decent amount that will change the fortunes of Jamaica. Would I like that to be found under the PNP administration? Absolutely not. That's why it is important for us to do whatever we have to do to ensure that the GLP continues to manage this country. Because history proves that whenever there's anything that is meaningful to change the lives of Jamaicans, and the PNP put them hands on it, it's dead. 1960s, Dorlan will tell you that bauxite in the 60s was like oil today. Bauxite was gold in the Caribbean. We had it. We had a decent amount of it. And if it was managed properly by the PNP, and I said the PNP, yes, the PNP, because when they came in office in 1972, we had the bauxite companies in Jamaica. The GLP's plan was in full stride, negotiating with these bauxite companies to get them to build the smelter plants in Jamaica that will provide employment never seen before. It would also give us leverage globally because we would have been the manufacturers of a lot of byproducts of bauxite. Instead of following through with that negotiation when Michael Manley came in the 1970s, he opted to chase those crazy ballheads, according to him, out of town. And he put a levy on the bauxite company because he believed in his wisdom that the best thing to do is to extract money from these guys. Had he just invited them, Dorlan, Francis, and others, say, come to Jamaica, set up shop here, right? Here is the benefit. Stop sending the bauxite out because it's costing you too much to export it. Bring the plant here, mine it here, build the byproducts here, develop an industry here. Probably today, Jamaica would have been better off than Singapore. So it is a false initiatives and policies of the PNP that still have us struggling to cross that threshold into being a first world country. So that's why I'm telling you, folks.
But
lend
yeah,
some
Barry,
support
Chopper.
lend some support to your arguments. The thing is, because the backside, you see, the comrade them don't understand it, right? I know if it's a business people for make money. They think if some value $1,000, it cost $1,000 to produce, they must get it. They must get it for $1,000. The business people not to get a markup, and it was all part of the backside thing. Michael, the first thing he did was to come in and come raise the backside levy, right? Instead of trying to make the environment attractive, right? And encourage people to come down here and make we could add more value to the backside, the process by doing the smelting and all of that, bringing the kind of hydropower that Siaga did plan to bring in from the mountain, from Blue Mountain and so on. We should have developed that so that we could have smelt backside and then we would have that added value added exercise that will employ far more Jamaicans and develop the country further, right? They don't have those kind of vision. Them just want where they can get right now. And it's the same mentality a lot of their supporters have. Them just want the one day food. They don't care about the future. Them live today and that's all that matter to them. And them don't know that there are more tomorrows than today. And they're not going to buy that. Let me just before you come in, son of whoever you are, the oil thing, the oil propaganda. Let me tell you, what is happening here? As someone pointed out, about 6 years I tried to find oil. And what happened is that technology has advanced to the point where we can map the earth and the sea and we know where minerals are deposited in those places, right? In the past, we didn't have those technologies. We just have a guess and spell, look at the rock formation, and then try to dig a hole and see if we find anything. But nowadays, you have mapping technology, right? And recently, oil exploration company has gone out there and mapped a certain section of the country. And the mapping thing, the images that they are getting back from those mapping exercise is encouraging. They can conclude that based on the maps, there are certain oil deposits around the place, right? And what happened recently is that these people, based on this mapping, they went about to sell the idea to investors that it is worth sinking a well, digging an exploration well in this area because we believe we'll find oil. And when you're promoting those ideas, you have to sell it. You have to make the investor feel that, yeah, they have a better than 50% chance that if we give them $1 million, then we'll strike oil, and then my million might turn 10 million by the time the first oil thing come. That's how things go. And the oil exploration company was in the process of trying to find investors that will finance the digging of a well to see if there is really oil there. Because to dig those wells not cheap. It takes a whole heap of millions of dollars. And that is what they were trying to do, to raise that fund so that they can go drill a well. Because based on the mapping, which the new technology has presented, it looked good. It looked good that there's oil there, but they're not sure say oil is there. Until they dig a well, they won't know. But what the PNP is doing, what they are doing, and we need to understand this. They want pressure to be brought on the government. Because what they want to do is to get it into the mind of their hungry supporters that the government now has resource. They have added resource. They now have oil. So they can afford to make people feel something. And what they want to do is to bring pressure to bear. To have the people that cry upon the government. Oh, you're supposed to can do better. And you will have like all teachers and nurses and people striking. Because, oh no, now the government have resources that you can answer my demands. And that is the idea behind spreading the lie. It's an outright stupid, false lie. Right? Because the first well don't drill yet. The first well don't drill yet. The people, the explorers are just out there trying to see if they can find investors who will give them the money so that they can drill a well that I think one well might cost about $30 million for drilling. Can't drill a well in the sea, no easy. It's not easy.
Dorlan, 1 minute. But first have to realize, as you rightly point in, is to get investors. And investors will just invest the money, and if they drill in a particular area and there's no oil, they lose the money. So that is one of the things. So you have to market it in such a way that the investors are sold on the idea, right, to come and invest. Because if they put that money, the government will not. It is a risk that they will have to take, right? So persons have to understand and listen. Investors want a return, And in order to get our investors' money, you basically have to sell that idea to them.
There, but me na you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to convince the investor that it's worth
Look
taking
up
the
the
risk.
guy cupboard.
But Dorlan, let me say something, Dorlan, right? But a lot of people don't understand, and this is why platforms like this, Chopper John platform and other people platform, Munchie them, they have to explain to the people them and teach them, right? The first exploration of oil in Guyana started in the 1950s. 1950s, you know, right? And them drill 9 oil well between 65 and 70, right? At 2015, the discovery was made commercial discovery was made of oil in Guyana. 2015, I started in the 1950s. So these people need to understand, say, it's not like, say, something there, I want piece of dirt you dig up for some stone or something. This is a very expensive thing. And it's a very meticulous thing. Kind of makes sense. You dig, and then the amount of oil there lasts only 2-3 years. That is not enough. You understand me? People don't understand that you have a substantial commercial amount of something there. And it take great investors. No, when they must say the JLP hide, so they find 7 billion barrel oil, they hide it, you know. How? Is that the government of Jamaica do the exploration?
So I just dig up the oil and hide it.
But another government of Jamaica did not do it.
Oh God.
What
Me
they
not
want
understand
to do, it fall into their narrative too, that the government is corrupt, you see? Because they want to find the oil and they want to sink it off, they want to hide it from the people so that they can take it for themselves. That is part of the thing too.
Well,
That is part of the thing too. But they want people to come pressure the government now. They want people to come say, we want way to pay, we want this, we want that. Because we don't have the resource now, we don't can give it to us.
But Dorlan,
Even though we don't find the first the drop of oil yet.
well, I can tell you something. Today,
Can everybody stop for a minute? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can everybody just stop for a minute? Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
who's this?
This is Gaza. Now, listen, this oil thing, right? I want to know how I heard about this oil situation. It was never on the news. It was on TikTok here. I saw a video saying that the government finds 7 billion barrels of oil and hiding it from everybody in the country, right? At first, I never did buy it because I watch news every night and I see nothing. I don't even nothing. As time passed, I see stories posting about this oil thing. Then, boom, CNN report, which was telling us about the potential finding of oil in Jamaica. But listen, this is weird. Kind of like, feel like I'm being lied to. Because you see, Harry Evans come out and say, there is no because he come and say, I know that. And then when me watch BBC, it say I there. So I look up and I will start. Come out and say, no, I know that.
So what's the point?
But BBC, we don't understand because BBC are saying no music, right?
No, but even what they were saying, you see, what happened, is our ability to read versus our ability to understand, our ability to listen, and our ability to comprehend. Because the very report that you are speaking to, and many others, did not say there were oil found in Jamaica. So I
never
found
say
it
it's potentially. It said potentially.
yeah, but if you hear potentially, why would you even think
Chopper.
that it's true? Yeah.
Oh, listen.
You observe a headline and a big question sign at the end.
Exactly. Not even that people notice.
That's what I wanted to say, Dorlan.
Right? And they need to
People
notice that
people don't know
they
to
were
read properly
wondering
and
if we
comprehend.
find oil.
Exactly.
Because of
And
the
then when you have,
questions,
but Dorlan, the problem is, you have people like, there's a platform on TikTok here who project themselves to be the vanguard of information according to them. Read it. Read it, not talk.
Yeah,
A bunch of loudmouth. And they are the ones who go out there and spread these rumors about oil being found in Jamaica and how the minister is lying. The minister said there's no oil. And I would love for them to come and tell us where did the minister lie. So when you listen to these people, that's why I said, not everybody here on this platform you must listen to. I tell you already, a years now, me and Dorlan 8 Francis are do this, and we have never, nobody has ever been able to debunk anything that we have said and to say we are lying, because we base our argument on facts. A facts we preach, nothing else. You can't dispute nothing we say because we don't come out and just run mouth because people can't talk. Right? So this,
Yeah, man. So the soil thing, it has two things them trying to do. It want to let the public lose trust in the government. They want the public to feel say the government is lying to them. You understand? They want to lose trust in the government, and then on the other hand, they want people now to come pressure the government. Say, look, we know you have money, we know you have the resource now. We want more pay, we want raise the pay, we want this, we want that, we want, and then start protest and agitate for all kind of things because now we have the resource.
Because
That's the thing. To reduce trust in the government, and to on the other hand to pressure the government, right? To have the people asking for things that they cannot never get, and that will fuel the discontent. You know, so it's all part of the political strategy they're coming with. You know.
so Dorlan, what's going to happen today, though? So guys, can I ask you all this question? What is going to happen today? The PNP has a conference today, which was built up on the whole argument of corruption and illicit six and statutory declaration and all of that. But based on what we have seen, guys, we are seeing a document that speaks to the fact that there's no such thing as illicit six. One, the statutory declaration of the Prime Minister is no longer the subject of debate at the level that the PNP had it. What is going to happen? We want to think of that. I mean,
Well, Trapper,
for 3 years.
Yes. What I have told the people on this platform is that they are to brace for the PNP to come promise some social benefit that they know they will never be able to bring to fruition. But they will promise it, and we have to be prepared to push back on it vigorously. You have to push back on it because that's the only thing can save them now.
Dorlan,
They have to come make a promise that them know the gullible people of Jamaica, their gullible supporters will latch on to.
But remember that the JLP would have laid that foundation already, Dorlan. In the sense where the JLP would have said to the Jamaican people, Prime Minister, no less a person than the Prime Minister, would have said that going forward, whether it is the JLP or the PNP, doesn't matter. If you make a promise to the Jamaican people, the question that the Jamaican people must ask is who is going to fund it? How will it be funded? Where the money will come from? And I can tell you that any promise that the PNP plans to come with tomorrow, or today rather, they must tell the Jamaican people how they plan to fund it. And if they can't tell how they're going to fund it, reject it. Secondly, when they do decide to tell you how to fund it, they've already said to us that the only mechanism for funding that they have is to inject new taxes onto the Jamaican people. That is their plan. They have said it. Damon Crawford came out and said, look, we're going to increase GCT in order to finance additional money for education, because he did know that the days of adding taxes to the Jamaican people to finance initiatives is gone. We are now growing the economy in order to do these things, right? So again, I said to you, they will come with a promise, Dorlan, and sometimes a good promise is good. But I don't think the PNP has the capacity to promise anything to Jamaicans and can substantiate that with
a way how to finance it. So we have to keep their feet to the fire. When they come with
Yeah,
these false promises that
yeah,
show me the money.
you're chopped. One of the thing though, one of the thing, you see like how this oil thing and nearly take off to the point where we could put pressure on the government. We cannot allow promise to take hold. We cannot. You remember we have the boulder strategy.
Yes, man.
We, do,
Yeah,
we
man.
don't make it start roll
But
because
you
it's
can't
harder
stop
to
it.
stop.
Yeah, stop it.
It's harder to stop the boulder and to develop momentum. So we can. We have to be wary because here's the thing. The PNP has no more option. Their corruption allegation, which is what everything was riding on. And they were hoping the IC would have helped them with that allegation. And we can see that the IC tried to help them.
Oh, yeah.
Because another first time they talk about them outside the Prime Minister. Right? No less a person than Greg Christie went out and tweet. Just when them figures say the parish county election was going to be announced. He come out and tweet about the Prime Minister going to be charged. When he fully well know that the lady in charge of corruption prosecution determined already that she not charge him. He knew it, but he nevertheless got tweet it. So the Prime Minister was going to be charged, right? So that was part of the strategy. They wanted to use the allegation of corruption and they were colluding with the IC to try to get this across to the Jamaica people. That the government is very corrupt and so on. That now has been debunked.
MP caretaker, may I beg you a second, MP caretaker. That's whole point. That is strength also answer something, so make you go ahead, that is strength. So me see some persons, some of us labor rights that is here on the platform daily are telling me to take down Mark Bowling picture and getting upset. This is my platform. See? I am the one who is running this platform. And I decide what I put on my platform. See? Me not going to tell you if you don't want to see it, you don't have to go on because we are labor right. But you just behave on yourself and just understand so me I run my program how me want to run my program. See? Go ahead, Mr. Dorlan.
Yeah, thank you. So right now, the only other strategy that the PNP can come with at this time is to look at every ministry and say and pretend as if these ministries have been found wanting, right? Then when I look at education and go complain, like the Beryl mash up a lot of schools and it should have been fixed from last night, right? As if they will come and they will come and still and blast crime and thing. No, we need to be ready for that. And the simple thing is, what we need to ask them, what would they do different? How they would do it different? And we need to ask them, say, you have been there developing the country for 31 years. Why you haven't done that? Why you haven't done it in 31 years? Why you going to do it now? And we need to, because that's the only other thing they can do. They can come and nothing that the government is doing will be well done. Nothing. This other party that think it's hard to support any cause at all. I mean, imagine him the Asian initiative. Bunting him have to come out, come criticize it. I come to 24 people not good enough. As if, no. How much time the Prime Minister must say them? I was saying a couple hundred people over there. And this 24 is advanced people to go set up the system, to just case out the place, figure out where we can put up our headquarters, how we can go and secure our people and all of that. That is what the 24 gonna do. The Bunting, he might to come back. 24. It's like as if, laborites are dumb and dunce. They're going to send 24 people to Haiti to deal with those gangs over there. Right? And that is how they will do things. They will dumb down everything. They will dumb it down. And we need to push back on them right away. Ask them what would they do different, how they would do it. And then when them answer it, they say, why you never do it? You have been there for 31 years, 18 and a half straight years. Followed by quick 4 years after that. So for 22 years, you already, why you never do it?
Well, Darlan, there's a new development because somebody, Vincent, mute your mic. So there's another development also, guys. And the PNP is now making what they consider to be some power move. In that there's words on the street that Isaac Buchanan is set to replace Chaka Fame up in East Portland. Well, I don't know how true that is. I have no concrete evidence of that. And he's bringing the forces of the Vibes cartel into that mix. No, I'm saying to you that there's words on the street now that the PNP is making what is considered to be some power move. One of those is to give Isaac Buchanan the seat over in East Portland to replace Chaka Fame. Now, I am saying to you, and that move also brings along with Isaac, it brings the Vibes cartel phenomenal with it. Now, I don't know about anybody, but I am confident in the work of Darrell and Anne-Marie Vaz. And I know that they have been three.
I was thinking the same thing. The Vaz will have him for supper, for breakfast, lunch, and
I
dinner.
know they will have him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if needs be. Because if there is ever a group of parliamentarians or politicians in the GLP that have the belly and the gut and the galls and the pocket, might I say, to deal with the forces of evil, it will be Darrell and Anne-Marie Vaz. So for those of you who are concerned, if you don't hear the rumor, I don't know if you all hear it, and concerned about the Vibes cartel and Isaac Buchanan duo going into East Portland, I have news for them. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Don't you consider that to be a stupid move?
What that Bujano brought on, this is the kind of thinking we need to advance. Okay? I've always accused my party of not being very strategic and not being very tactical. Right? I noticed for the past couple of years under the leadership of the Prime Minister, we have become a little more strategic. We have become a little more strategic. And that is very encouraging. And we need to be a little more tactical. Here's the thing now. There's that thing called opposition research. Right? And if you dive that, I'm going to send up that there's enough opposition research on that to destroy that. Was it the same either? Was it the same person who the mayor said was charged for drug smuggling?
Yes, not once, but twice, I believe.
Is that the same person?
I am almost certain.
I don't know. I just ask the question because if that is the same person that was charged for drug smuggling, that is enough opposition research to destroy that.
Well, yes, but if you tie it again with well, you know, there are other activities that they can tie it to. But yes, I believe it is the same gentleman who had served time for drug smuggling or something to do with drugs. Not quite sure. But you see, again, it tells you what the PNP does.
Wait, Trapper. Is it the same gentleman who was there ridiculing the Attorney General?
Yes, same one. Who tell her to suck.
Who was denigrating the lady?
Yes, sir.
Eh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that is the man the PNP want to represent people?
Sir, I am not certain. I'm saying there is a rumor out there. I cannot confirm. I'm hoping today at the conference that they will say yea or nay to whether or not Isaac Buchanan, the attorney, the successful attorney for Vibes Cartel, and the person who had served time for nefarious activities, if that is the same person, they would send into East Portland to represent the PNP. I don't know, but I'm hoping that at their conference today, they will take steps to confirm or deny such action. However, be it as it may, I will say that the Vaz, Darrell, and Anne-Marie, who control both East and West Portland, I am quite confident that they have it within them
That place a lot, man.
to deal with whomever, whether it is an Isaac or non-Isaac.
Guys,
Yes,
we hear
come
out
to
that
say.
is strength.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Why? There are so many things that you don't push me to talk about. You know, I just check my wallet a while ago, and I say, why I don't want to buy a drink for everybody? I don't have enough money, man. $7,000. I mean, I say, why they want to buy drink for all of these
You
intelligence?
can't email the drinks, man. You can't email it to the reach.
I wish to have a reason. No, I wanted to say something as it relates to the oil situation, right? Now, a lot of people, you see, we have to understand the oil when they're talking about doing research for oil. Now, if anywhere in the ocean that they find oil, it is very deep. You get what I'm saying? It is never near the surface of the floor. It is a very deep thing. Now, there is also an oil belt around the earth, which a lot of people never do that studies. There's an oil belt, and that oil belt pretty much pass close to the equator, right? But you see, in the oil belt now, if you notice in the areas, especially in the Middle East, where they find most of the oil, it is always in the open earth, like for example in some wasted land. You know what I mean? You realize that the oil found there in the desert area are always closer to the surface of the earth. The wisdom of the Almighty when creating the earth and putting in the oil and all of this thing. Oil is dangerous for life. You understand me? So when you find the oil out there in the water, right? You want us to understand how to